Now, let's take our eyes to the youth leader, Gomolemo Kgwatlhe. He's the head of acceleration of All Citizens Party, and he's also born in Mafikeng. He runs a business called Kgwatlhe Business Solutions. He also holds a BSc honors degree on Business Information Technology at University of Greenwich. He's a former leader of COSAS and also an advisor to Bahwaduba Royal House in Matibestad. Dumela Morare, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Morara. It's very, very good, actually. I feel very, very confident that I have Motswana Wako Khai in the same room and actually conducting this particular podcast. So,
yes.
And I'm very, very proud to, I actually take pride in seeing one of our own, young as you are, on this particular platform.
Thank you, my brother. I'm flattered, but it's going to be a very robust discussion. I hope you still feel the same way after the interview.
No, I want to go pale.
You know, Gomolemo, usually young people as they grow up, I see here your bio, it's very much community-led. When did it all start? When did you get to a point in your life where you said, I want to speak for the people? Was politics your thing growing up, or something triggered you to join politics?
Yeah, actually, honestly speaking, politics were not my thing at all, because I saw politicians as people who always make empty promises.
Yes.
My passion has always been music, by the way. In my high school days, I used to be that guy, Kadi Valentine, Kodi Holong and all that stuff.
Yes, yes.
And that actually boosted my confidence into leadership, because I had followership. I had people who believed in me. I was not just a so-called chama boy, but I was also smarty pants, if I can put it that way.
Yes, yes.
But also, I discovered my leadership skills at a high school level. So multiple times I would get elected as a leader of something. I remember in my primary days, I led a campaign for Transnet. I was at grade 3. For Mr. Chuchu, there was a campaign that was actually ran by Transnet for Mr. Chuchu. So they would go to different primary schools to have young people actually being part of that particular campaign. And from there, the rest was history. That actually boosted my confidence. Went into my high school days. I became a class lead, grade 10.
Yep.
And then grade 11, I was re-elected. Unfortunately, I couldn't because I could not serve 2 terms, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
But come grade 12, I was then elected the president of the SRC.
Okay.
And that's when now I was over the moon that I'm the president of the SRC. So I'm running the entire high school. You understand what I'm saying? And then in that particular year, actually, there's a lot of changes that I've done at the school. I'm coming from a Christian school, St. Mary's High School in Lomanyane, by the way. So it was a Christian school, and we were not doing things like all the other high schools, your Valentine's Bash and all that stuff. We were a Christian school. But I broke the barriers when I was the president of the SRC, 2007, and I said, guys, it's about time we start doing what other young people are doing, in a decent manner. So that actually earned me a lot of brownie points as the SRC president.
Definitely. So I'm going to come into this part because I think from you we can say leaders are born, right? As someone who has also shared the seat back in college, I was a president as well. You realize as time goes by that you now look for a political party or for a structure where you can now be active, be an activist in. You had so many political parties. Why did you choose a new party, All Citizens Party? Why? Why not EFF? Why not ANC? Why not DA?
All right. Not that I didn't try all the other parties. Let me just maybe explain my journey. I was part of the NFP. I don't know. Maybe I have a soft spot for women leadership. So under the late Magwaza Kamsibi, I led from a provincial point of view in the Northwest still. And then I went on to join APEMO after the NFP. And really because the leader moved from NFP after obviously the late to form his own political party, and we all looked forward to him. And credit must be given where it's due. I think he polished my political skills from the APEMO side of things, and then that's when I started serving actually on a national level,
Okay.
and that on its own boosted my confidence in politics. For some reason, and this is the funny part, and this still continues, some of the leaders, young leaders that we served with in the community will always consult, either from the ANC or the EFF. They still do consult with me now and then politically, So not that I have any problem, but I'm a person who loves to be given a platform to showcase and lead, I'm a good follower, by the way. So I don't just lead, and I'm advisable. I listen to other people's advice. I also advise other people. I think I advise more than I get advice. And
ACP, what's up?
So from APEMO, then I decided, you know what, things didn't go the way we expected. And by the way, in APEMO, we produced a mayor. But things didn't go accordingly. It's politics, after all. And then I took a little bit of a break from politics, and I thought, you know what, for this upcoming elections, let me focus on building my own company, and then run an NPO. I registered an NPO called Matibestad Community Development Forum. Things were a little bit slow, obviously, because as an NPO as well, you still rely on what? Politicians. They are the decision makers at the end of the day. And I learned one thing, that, you know what, for you to be able to be a decision maker, you have to be part of politics, one way or the other.
Yes.
Whether you are within a political party structure or not, but you need to be involved in the politics of the country. I was then approached by a gentleman called Lucas Shiburi. At that time, they were DUP before the ACP. And then I was not interested when it was DUP. Then I got the bad news that DUP was taken away from Honorable President Dr. Senati Fisher. And people came to me for rescue to say, dude, this is what happened. Please, this woman needs leaders like you. Come and let's just give her a chance. I Googled her. I didn't see much of her politically. I think the only video that I saw was when she was interviewed by the SABC under wellness and eating habits and all that stuff.
Yes.
And then I thought, okay, she's not a politician. Let me give her a chance.
Yes.
They arranged a meeting between myself and the president. We meet for the first time in Centurion. I listened to her. She's not a typical politician, or she's not a politician at all, if I can put it that way. And I fell in love with the fact that she's a doer.
Yes.
Much more than a speaker.
It's not a PR.
Yes. So, and that is why when someone asked me, am I a politician? I said, no, I'm not a politician. I'm a leader in politics. Because in the politics of today, we lack leadership. We've got politicians, believe you me,
but
we lack leadership.
So, Gomolemo, let's jump into this. The ACP, as it was formed and led by a woman, and I saw you are a new party going to a space where some parties have been here for a long time. What would you say makes you guys different? What is your selling power?
Yeah. So, like I said, number one, in politics, what we lack is leaders. In our Honorable President, Dr. Senati Fisher, I see a leader. I see a mother. And I see a provider.
Yes.
Not only for her family, but she has always been providing for the nation through her foundations, through her wellness hospitals. And that is one thing that actually makes us very, very close to each other. And by the way, when I joined the All Citizens Party, I was supposed to join from a provincial level.
Yes.
After a couple of meetings with the Honorable President, she decided that, no, I want this guy in my office. She didn't know what she wants me in her office as. She didn't give me a title. And hence, you'll never hear any political party up to so far saying that they've got what we call an acceleration team.
Yes.
Because the acceleration team is a team that makes sure that things are done. So I'm more an all-rounder.
Yes.
if there is a task that is given to the national director or the national chairperson or the secretary general,
Yes.
and for some reason the secretary general is struggling to execute, he will come into my office and say, Theo, this is what I want to do, and I'm not getting it right, or I don't have the capacity.
Yes.
I run with it.
Gomolemo, somebody else will say you are more of a chief whip in waiting, right?
Correct.
But then you go into the issues of young people in this country right now. We are at the point where young people are given 350s and some are given social grants. Are we a welfare state? Will all Citizens Party continue with the same status quo where we just give things for free? Or are we looking at development maybe?
So our aim is development and empowerment, much more than us being a charity government.
Yes.
Because a charity government builds what we call a lazy nation. And that's what we get labeled as South Africans.
Yes.
That is why at the current moment, we are fighting foreigners who are coming in and actually sweating for survival in our country. And they are surviving in our country. Some of them even come from 0 to millionaires in our eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Because we are in a country where our people are being spoon-fed. But they are spoon-fed not even on a silver spoon, if I can put it that way.
Like with the
You
bare
know?
minimum.
Yes, with the bare minimum. And then we celebrate all of that. And that is utter nonsense, unfortunately. I mean, 350 rands is actually an insult to our people.
True.
Number one, you know, and if you look at our people, how they would actually even go and strike that the 350 is late. You understand what I'm saying? So that says there's something wrong with our society.
I think, don't you think maybe is the desperation, is the part where you're like, this is the best, we need it. You don't really think, Hore is the best part thing, but because it's available, it does make ends meet somehow. Maybe that 5 kg of pap along the way.
Let me tell you something. It is a need, right? But also, this proves that our people are still not psychologically decolonized. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm going to make an example, and this is what I tell my community people every time. I say, a young person will be given an internship at a corporate company.
Yeah.
And that corporate company will pay them 3,000 rands a month.
Yes.
Out of that 3,000, you still have to do transportation, you still have to survive, you still have to do all of that toiletry and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
And then Theo comes and I say, I'm giving you 1,000 rands. Let's go buy veggies and sell veggies. And you find that a person in a street vendor, makes about 300 rands a day. Multiply that by 20 days. If he does that, they don't work on weekends. It's 6,000. And because we label people who do the real work as uneducated and all that stuff, it's very difficult for us to look at it on the other side, on the positive side, to say that you are self-empowered and you can empower someone else. But
then let's look at it this way. How does education play a role? We have a 30% pass mark rate. We still have young people who actually, they say now, they can't read for comprehension. What does the future look like for basic school and even higher education under your government?
Listen, I'm not going to blame the education system, number one, right? But the root cause, I said number one, is that we are not mentally decolonized. Yes. Number two, we have lack of access to information. That's number two, right? Yes. It's a big problem, right? It's not the education system, because some of the people, like you've got somebody who have studied a BSc like myself, but they're sitting at home. Are you saying that they are not educated? They are educated. Maybe the system that is being used, our education system, like we always cry that we were not taught economics in a way that it will empower us in the future. Yes, you know, yes. We were not taught the basics of how to save, how to invest, how to make money. You understand? That is what we are lacking. I'm just talking from an economic point of view in terms of our education curriculum. The other thing is that the challenge that we have with the economic curriculum is that we are not actually moving with time. in terms of our education curriculum.
Yes.
Right now, even the government, they are talking for IR, they are talking AI. You understand? All of those things. But they are not actually implementing the basic fundamentals for us to get to that point. Right? We are on a podcast right now. How long did it take the SABC to go digital?
It took them a long time.
It took them a long time. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because they didn't even know where they're going to begin. Right? Because we never set the foundation right. So
is the lack of vision? It could be a lack of a proactive leadership, or you're just comfortable with whatever works, let it work, we'll see.
No, it's a lack of vision indeed, and long-term planning as a country. You understand what I'm saying? Some people actually, if you look at part of our manifesto, there is something that we mentioned there, and people actually think that we are crazy when we're saying that we need basic military training for young people. You must have that. It's like swimming lessons. Right now, we all saying we need to take our kids for swimming lessons because it's a survival technique.
Yes.
You understand? So we also need our youth to be military ready. We are not saying that we are going to take you guys for robust military training where you're going to be bobo barikimang ola mabena. No, you know, but we want to give you the basics, right?
But the question would be, what is the intention with military training? Is it for discipline? Is it for them to serve the country as maybe generals of the army? What are you looking to create by taking young people from high school into the military?
So the main thing is, number one, discipline. And if you look at our generation, the current generation is so demoralized. And we need to build morals and ethics if we want to bring a very strong nation. Right?
Yes.
Right now, you might look at us, or other countries will look at us as beggars because we don't have the capacity to go to war. We've never been to war. We've never tested our military, you know. So that is why we are always on the fence. If you look at that Russia situation, Ukraine issue, we were you know, leaning against the fence. Why? Because we don't trust our military readiness. You understand? But if we know that we have actually equipped
capable.
And capacitated our nation for anything, we will be able to face whatever comes our way. And that is why we are not able to make decisive decisions as a country, because we doubt ourselves that what if we wage war with this one?
And
it doesn't really, you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I think maybe somebody else will argue that the youth now, they need jobs, money, and security, right? To say, make sure that I'm safe when I'm on the streets or anywhere in the country. Make sure that I have money so I can buy food and take care of myself, and have a plan of how do I grow as an individual within the economic space. So the question would be, will military not be seen as the two, I don't know, out of fashion in a way, or something that is bizarre?
No, not really. Not really. And that's why I said that when we're talking military, we're not talking that robust military training, but you know, just to have a basic form of defense. And let me tell you something. Right now, the same youth that we are talking about, we are fighting with other nationals in our own country, and we are being bullied in our own country because we cannot stand up to them. I'm not going to mention the country, but Abu Jolof. You understand? That guy comes and, you know, literally just threatens you in your own country, and you back off, and you cannot even defend yourself. Actually, you understand? So
on that issue, sorry, I hope I got an
yes.
On that issue of illegal immigration, what is the policy of ACP? Do we deport, do mass deportation, or do we find a way to naturalize them into the country? How do we deal with illegal immigration? So
the first things first, if we want to make things right in our country, we need to do a cleanup first. Okay. And we are not saying that we've got a problem with other nationals coming into our country. Yes. But come in a right way, right? We need to do a cleanup first. Mass deportation is what we want to do. Strictly following immigration policies, because this country is governed by immigration policies. So why is the immigration issue a big issue? If we've got a template that has been written, has been gazetted, and we all agree upon it, why are we not following it? You understand what I'm saying? So we are saying that we need to clean the house first. Once we have cleaned the house, because at the current moment, we even our statistics, we don't even know that the statistics that we are getting, is it the true statistics of South Africans? Because we have integrated them into our systems as well through corruption at the borders, number one, corruption at the Home Affairs. You understand? There are people that are actually selling citizenship of South Africa illegally to those people. So when we start doing statistics, we count them in. And that is why we feel like we are not capacitated to actually take care of our people. As a country, we are capacitated, but the capacity that we have includes other people that are not part of the statistic.
So somebody else would say, why don't we rather have some bylaws where we say certain duties, certain businesses can only be performed by South Africans? Wouldn't that work? Or maybe it might be seen as xenophobic or discriminatory?
No, it's not discriminatory because other countries are actually doing that.
Okay.
Whereby, number one, in other countries, you cannot own a land or a property as a foreigner.
Yes.
But in South Africa, we are allowing that. So if they're able to do it in other countries and it's acceptable and it's not seen as xenophobic, why should it be seen as xenophobic if we are doing it in South Africa? And the truth of the matter is that township economy needs to be owned by our people.
True.
And that is empowerment of the youth. That is empowerment of communities because we have to build self-sustainable communities. How are you going to build self-sustainable communities if you don't even run the local economy in your townships?
Yes.
That is a big, big problem that we have. And if we start actually clearing that, these things are interlinked.
Yes.
We will stop talking issues of unemployment because platforms are there for economy, for township economy. We are saying to young people, if your ambition is not to become a doctor, to become a lawyer, to become what? Become an entrepreneur. We will give you funding so that you start building your own small enterprises.
Gomolemo, but then we have the NYDA, we have the Minister of Small Medium Enterprises. They've been talking about township economy for many years. Even Panyaza, the Premier, has been speaking about township economy for many years, but we don't see this economy going anywhere. Our people start businesses, but they don't stay in business. Within 2 years, they're off, or we can say they get money, they get the funding. Is it the issue of not having the proper knowledge and mentorship? Or is it an issue of we are just doing things passively, just give them the money for stats?
So all those programs, behind all those programs, there is corruption.
Oh.
And those programs actually benefit the people that are not even ready for that or have the willingness to empower others. The BEE system, for example, we call it Black Business Empowerment, but who is it empowering?
Only the comrades.
And it's actually taking the country down the drain. So all those programs, number one, the problem is that, like I said, we don't have leadership. We don't have people who actually guide those people who actually benefit from those programs. We don't have mentorship programs. We don't have people who do follow-ups on those small enterprises. We don't have people who monitor and manage that because the same thing is happening in NSFAS.
Yes.
Right. It is there. The budget is there every year. But what is the delay? What causes the delay every time when they need to pay the students?
It's maladministration.
You understand? Because it's maladministration and it's because somebody must benefit before that money actually goes to the students.
Yes.
The delay on NYDA is because somebody must benefit before it goes out. And if I give you a funding, right, and this is the trend with the current government, the corrupt government. I give you funding, and then there should be a kickback somehow.
Oh yeah, 10%.
You understand what I'm saying? And this thing, we cannot shy away from it. It's been done by comrades. The construction mafias.
Yes.
Right. That is why we've got infrastructure issues. But every year there's a budget allocated. It's because of those kickbacks. Those kickbacks, by the way, are supposed to go into the community, not into somebody's pocket.
But here's the thing, and the good thing you spoke about corruption, and I'm going to also put crime and security in all of this. Our country, someone would say, we have so many security companies. We have so many cops. We just even increased the number with Amapanyaza. What is the problem? What are we not getting right in terms of keeping South Africa safe?
So that takes me back to that basic military training. It takes us back to that basic military training.
Yes.
Right. The ideas are there. Amapanyaza is a great idea. It's a great initiative. But we saw the losses that came with that program just 6 months after that program was launched. Because the people that were hired, it's still cadre deployment, if I can put it that way. Give my comrades. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you get your comrade buddy because they're going to earn 15,000 and drive state-owned BMW, recklessly because they didn't have proper training. Number one,
yes.
They don't have military background. Number two, or policing background, or even security background. Why are we not taking people at least? Why are we not recommending people who have went
to security,
like did their serious? And that is what we call empowerment. You don't want to be a security guard for the rest of your life.
Yes.
But let's start putting a program in place where you become a security guard. If you have done well, let's take you to another level. What do they call it? Community safety police officers.
Yes.
We take you from there to there. Then it encourages you to even upskill yourself as a security guard. Right now, you deploy a security guard to guard a bank with a donkey pill. Sorry for that word. If I can put it
I think that's the way. Yeah.
But I mean, how do you expect that guy to actually face somebody who's coming there to break into the bank? Because those guys come armed. You understand what I'm saying? So certain things, we just need to make sense out of them.
So maybe I think what you are saying is that our government, they do things for PR to say we did this, but they don't maintain it. They don't monitor. There's no follow-up. There's no accountability. As long as the camera was there, they cut the ribbon. Whether that house will have water tomorrow or will it be sustainable, as long as the photo was there, they can put on the stats. I'm going to go to one issue that is very critical, especially in this country, the issue of land. All Citizens Party, do you have a land policy? And are we taking the land back to the state? Are we giving it to the kings as someone who has advised the royalty of the Matibe state? How do we deal with the issue of land? So
let's put it this way, right? We are suffering state capture even now, right? It's not only through the Guptas. We're still suffering state capture. There are people who are taking decisions for the state outside the president, the ministers and the MECs, right? The issue of the land, we cannot take it back to government. Because if you take the land back to government, then you are taking it back to the people who are running the state behind closed doors, right? So what we are saying is that we want to empower traditional leaders. Those are the people who has the history of the land.
Yes.
They know everything about the land.
Okay.
So we need to start empowering them first because they are what we call landlords. So how do you talk about the issue of the land if you're not talking about paramount kings?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm going to say that we are all Citizens Party and we are not racist. If Van Niekerk has got land, a simple word that we are saying to Van Niekerk is that if you've got excess land that you're not using, let's share the land. Right? Let's share the land. But we need to address firstly the landlords before we get to the issue of the land. Let's give bangwamu. So we mean it. So let's sit down, address the issue of the landlords, empower them, and then after that we start sharing the land. But we're not going to take the land and put it under government as the custodians because the government that we are talking about is run by the same people that we say we want the land from. You understand?
No, I will tell you one thing. Somebody said to me, maybe introduce a quota whereby the kings will own 30% and 50%, the others will own 50%. There's got to be some sort of a give and take in between to have this redress of land.
No, you know what? We should have the owners and the custodians.
Yes.
Right. So the real owners are the kings. they are the real owners. And we can make whoever is running whatever on that particular land, especially if it's benefiting the nation.
Yes.
Why would we want to take away something that is actually functional or that is beneficial for the nation?
Yes.
Right now we are talking food security. We are at a crisis. I cannot just go to Delareyville and tell that guy that is producing almost 20% of maize for the Northwest Province and say to him, no, I want this land. The next thing I open a Chisanyama there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And those are some of the issues that needs to be addressed. And we need education around that. And we need policies to be put in place to say that if I give Gomolemo the land,
Yes.
what is he giving me in return as the king of this particular land? What is Gomolemo going to utilize the land for? You understand?
And how will that land benefit the community?
Exactly. How will it benefit the community? If I find Van Niekerk, I need to say to Van Niekerk, I've got Gomolemo. Gomolemo is interested in agriculture. Sit down, mentor Gomolemo. Teach him about agriculture and how to manage a farm. And then once that is done, let's look at available plots and say, Gomolemo, now that you have been empowered by Van Niekerk, and let me tell you something, these people, they are willing to share the land with us. I don't want to lie. We don't have a reason to take the land aggressively. Yes, we can take it without compensation, but not aggressively.
Yes.
We need to sit down onto the table with them, discuss the issue on an open discussion.
But Gomolemo, there's a contradiction there.
No, I want to. No. I'm telling.
I'm
yes.
saying in terms of if you take it without compensation, that's where the aggression will come from their end, right?
No, but that is why we'll tell them this is the landlord. So it's either you lose it all, or you keep
share.
some, or you share with us. Because if we say that no, but the policy says that this, and it has been proven by the rule of law that this land belongs to Gomolemo.
Yes.
Then you either give the entire land to Gomolemo or you are willing to sit down and negotiate.
My brother, I'm gonna, as you are led by a Dr. Senati Fisher, who usually dealt more with mental health issues, and this country, the youth, is going through the most with suicide rates going up. Under ACP, can we expect to see more psychologists in clinics, in hospitals? How are you going to ensure that our healthcare sector it is improved, but also again it caters to those mental health issues that our young people are going through?
No, indeed, mental revolution is actually the key of our drive as the party, of our cause. It's the key of our cause as a party, and that is why we are saying that to build a nation, you need human capital.
Yes.
How are we going to build a nation if we are full of drug addicts, if we are full of nyaupe boys, if you are full of that? We need those people. We need to rehabilitate those people. We need to then integrate them back into society.
Yes.
So it's very, very key that, and it is because of obvious reasons. It's because of the state of our economy that our youth is depressed like it is.
Yes.
It is because of unemployment that our youth actually has nothing to do. They have the only thing that makes sense to them is what? Is drugs.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? So we need to rehabilitate them and give them purpose, integrate them back into society, and start building the nation with them.
Definitely. My brother, we are closing up right now. Why should I vote for you as a South African, as a young person?
There's only one thing that we advocate for as the All Citizens Party. We say we want real change.
Yes.
And we don't want real change, just real change. We want it now. So what we are going to do as South African, as the All Citizens Party to South Africans, we say to you that vote for the woman president, because when a woman is in the kitchen, you know that something is cooking. When a man is in a kitchen, something might be burning. And we are seeing it at the current moment. Our country is burning because a man is in the kitchen. Thank you very much. Vote Dr. Senati Fisher nationally. Vote Gomolemo Kgwatlhe, Bokoni Bophirima. I am the young lion, the young premier candidate for Bokoni Bophirima. Let's turn our province around. We've got an opportunity. We've got a capability as a province to be one of the biggest economic hubs in South Africa. Give a young leader an opportunity, and let's build Bokoni Bophirima together. Thank you.
That's it from All Citizens Party. Gomolemo Kgwatlhe. Mosimane wa gaetsho bana. Did he win your votes? Are you going to be voting for All Citizens Party? You make that choice. Also share your comments on the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the content. That's it from Manifesto Unpacked. I am Bafana Modise, proudly brought to you by a podcast party. Tune in, turn up, and take action. Next time, chop chop.